Hi, I'm Catherine Gray, founder of She Angel Investors and co founder of the She Angels Foundation. I'm also the podcast host of Invest in Her and an award winning producer, author, and TEDx speaker. Our show, Invest in Her, features phenomenal female founders and funders. As you know, women receive less than 2% of venture capital funding. Our series is about accelerating the funding of women by connecting them to funding resources. Let's meet today's guest. Welcome to this week's edition of Invest in Her. I'm your host, Catherine Gray, founder of She Angel Investors and co-founder of the She Angels Foundation, executive producer of Show Her the Money. And we today have on an incredible guest, as always. I met her years ago and have always been impressed by what a go-getter she is. She is the founder and CEO of Gritty INPINK and the INPINK Marketplace, which is revolutionizing the music industry, especially for women. Let's talk to Shira Yevin. Hi, Shira. How are you?
Hi, Catherine. I'm great. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. And top of the hour, I want to talk about also, you do an incredible event at New York Tech Week every year at Live Nation. So impressive. And we are so excited to join you with the screening of Show Her the Money
Yes.
at that event this year, which is June 4th. And super excited about that.
Thank you. We're so excited to have you. It's going to be even bigger and better joining forces. Investor Roundtables is a series we've done actually both at New York and LA Tech Week for a few years now. And it's always a big blowout. We have a line wrapped around the door. Live Nation is an incredible host. They have a very cool space. And we're stoked to kick things off this year with the Show Her the Money screening and panel. So it's going to be a really special event.
And then it's followed by, like you said, Invest Her. So investor, but her.
Right.
And this is like roundtables where founders get to talk with investors. Hopefully some deals are made.
Exactly.
So really an exciting day that kicks off at 2 o'clock with our Show Her the Money screening and then goes into you're being able to connect with other people, to do the Invest Her roundtables. It's really an exciting event from what I hear. I'm super excited to attend this year. And yeah, bravo for you putting that together at Live Nation.
Thank you. It'll be great. Yes. Mark your calendars, June 4th, 2 p.m., and it goes all the way to 7 p.m. after the roundtables. We have a happy hour open bar with Live Nation, and we'll be serving dinner. And the roundtables part, like you mentioned, is a very cool thing because it's that unique opportunity for a founder to get one-on-one time, or actually not one-on-one, but 8-on-1, let's say, or whoever's sitting at your table.
Yeah.
But you really do get that special attention and be able to have that conversation. And honestly, the point of the event is to have these conversations that people are sort of scared to have, right? Like, we're in the safe space. We're all here to empower women and show her the money, and to be able to, to maybe you want to ask things like, oh, what do I really want to include in my data room? Or, certain questions that you might not want to ask an investor when you first meet. This is a space for that. We've had amazing speakers, Lakeisha Landrum-Pierre from Emeline, who I know is involved in the film. We've had Judine from A16Z, Karen Kahn from iFund Women.
Kelly Winget from the film also.
Kelly Winget, also my investor, Alternative Wealth Partners. Jennifer Kwan from Halogen is coming back this year. This year we also have Melissa Withers from Rev Up Capital, and Evie Heilbrunn is going to be speaking about angel investing. So yes, very excited for that. And we will be announcing the topics a couple weeks before the event so people can, take a look and see which roundtables they want to participate in.
Awesome. And then on our screening after panel, we have, of course, I'll be on there with John Majeski for Silicon Valley Women Founders Fund. We will also have Jason Hammond from Private Fidelity Shares, and Jackie from Perkins Coie, and also I think I'm forgetting one person. Oh my gosh, Sylvia Ma from Stella Foundation, who
Yes.
of course is one of the
Right.
sponsors of this incredible event, and of course Sylvia is involved with the film as a associate producer. So we are super psyched to
Yes.
with you. And I started the show saying you're such a go-getter, and that is so true. Like you have like infinite energy. People say that to me, but they haven't met you.
We are kindred spirits in that way. Absolutely.
And I want to talk about Gritty and Pink, why you started it. I probably one of the few people that knows a little bit about your background story. I remember you sharing with me, being in the music industry as a woman is such a challenge, and you're trying to tackle that inequity and make it more equal. Women are overlooked in being hired for, making music for movies and television and events and all kinds of things. And you're trying to break that mold. And let's talk a little bit about your background. I know you were telling me about being at a famous concert that typically had like no female entertainers. Am I telling this story right?
Yeah, so it's called the Vans Warped Tour. It's America's longest running music festival. I was working on the tour back in the day, saw no female musicians on stage. So came back the next year with my band and crashed the tour in a pink RV. Ended up creating the Shira Girl stage for over 300 female fronted bands, including Paramore in their first ever tour. Joan Jett graced the stage, and we got in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And this set me off on a lifelong crusade to carve out a space for women, not just in music, but in other male dominated industries. I actually also spent a decade in the beverage business, another boys club. But, we have a big vision with Gritty and Pink. We have the INPINK platform, which you can think about as kind of a female powered Upwork. So it's really all about becoming a global destination to hire female freelancers in every industry, starting with music as our beachhead market, and certainly having Live Nation as our lead investor doesn't hurt. So
wait, I want to stop you. I want to go back to that story and just talk how incredible that was. So here is this famous, world famous music festival, and you're recognizing there were let me repeat that, 0 women entertainers, musicians at this thing. So you set up your own stage, like unofficially, but officially, and just made it happen and invited all these incredible female musicians, and everybody loved it. And I just love that, like, you just kicked down doors, girl.
That's what I know how to do. Kevin Lyman told me I have chutzpah. I have to shout out Kevin Lyman. He is the founder and producer of Vans Warped Tour. And, a lot of tour producers would have just kicked me out. But, he has been a huge spokesperson for gender equality in the music industry. He also teaches at USC, and he teaches young women about the music industry. Most of his crew, behind the scenes are women. So it's just nice to be able to help get more women on the stage, especially female musicians. But I do have some exciting news that we haven't announced yet about that. We're going to be announcing very shortly. Vans Warped Tour went away in 2019. There was a 25th anniversary festival, and then I say Kevin Lyman can see the future, because who knew what was happening in 2020, but somehow he ended the festival the perfect year. But it's actually coming back this year to celebrate 30 years, and Gritty and Pink will be on the scene. We're going to have a Gritty Garage experience, a 20 by 20 tent, a lounge for women to collect resources. We're partnering with Mad Hippie, which is a clean beauty company. That's our new brand partner. And we're also doing Gritty and Pink Warped Warm-Up Tour, which is a series of official pre-parties. And so we'll be having dates in the Northeast and all around SoCal. And that will be featuring different headliners playing the festival, female headliners, as well as our signature all-girl jam, which is—
And where is that festival? Is it touring, or is it in a specific location?
So this year, great question. This year it's in 3 cities: DC, Long Beach, California, and Orlando in June, July, and November. And so for the week leading up to it, for the DC date, we're playing Boston, New York, Pennsylvania, DC. For the SoCal date, we have shows in San Diego, Orange County, LA, Hermosa Beach. So yeah, it's very exciting. We're just about to announce all these shows. And we're also doing a talent search to get female musicians, sign up for INPINK for your chance to play in the all-girl jam, which is our series of when we have up to 50 women and non-binary musicians doing themed cover songs. And of course, for this, the theme will be Warped Tour. So pop punk, emo, and those kind of fun songs, and different artists that have played the Warped Tour. Later, there was a lot of more recognizable artists. It was known for launching careers like Green Day and Blink-182, but then later in 2008, you had Katy Perry. So, it did end up diversifying.
Wow. How do people learn about where that tour is so they can go see these concerts?
Yeah, vanswarptour.com. And you can always go to our website, grittyandpink.co, so that you can see, where all the pre-shows are happening. And of course, Gritty and Pink Life on Instagram. That will have all the
So let
deets.
me get this straight. Gritty and Pink is your band.
Well, Gritty and Pink is the company.
Is
My
your
band is Shira
company?
Girl. My all-girl punk rock
Oh,
band is Shira Girl.
okay. So your band is Shira Girl.
Yeah.
And then your company, Gritty and Pink, is what launched the marketplace called INPINK. So
Yes.
let's say a woman is in the music industry and they want to get into your marketplace. Where did they find INPINK?
Yeah, inpink.com, super easy. It's a mobile friendly platform. It is a browser based platform, and you can sign up. You can sign up with Google. It's free to sign up. It's free to submit a listing, and we don't take a cut of what women earn. That's a huge part of our mission. It's actually crazy, Catherine, and I know this is something that obviously you're very dedicated to, equity for women, and women actually make 50% less on these digital freelance platforms like Fiverr. And the reason is because they're underpricing their services. Women have that confidence gap, and we also don't have that boys club to say, hey, you did this gig last year, what did you get paid? And women, there's a lot of stigma even with women talking about money. And I know this is part of your film, and and the inequities and how things are rigged against us, right? So we are aiming to, help overcome these challenges by certain things that we're designing in the platform. We are developing an AI-powered fair pay scale and other, different features that will help us and help women overcome these inequities.
And the AI pay scale will let them know what they should be asking. Is that right?
Exactly.
So the whole idea was you created inpink.com for women in the music industry. I take it women that write music, perform music, all of these things.
On and off stage. So it's not just music and audio and live talent, but we also have business, graphics, marketing, and local services like photo and video, which is a huge demand right now, of course,
right?
With social media.
Yeah. And so a big question, I think it's so impressive that you have as an advisor Melissa Etheridge. Tell us that story.
Yeah, so it's so funny. So Gritty is definitely powered in part by an intern army. We've had incredible interns, and one of my interns ended up working for Melissa Etheridge's manager, Deb Wagner. She's a legend in the game, and she got me a lunch meeting. So I went to lunch, I bought her lunch, I presented my deck. I literally brought my laptop to lunch, And she said, okay, I will show this to Melissa, see what she says. We have our pitch deck on DocSend, so I can see who logs in and when. And I saw that Melissa logged in. She looked at it. 15 minutes later, I got an email. She's in. She wants to support this. And Melissa is so amazing. I've met her a few times now. And she's obviously one of the first women that came out, in the music industry. Yes, I am and all that. But she really doesn't care about her image. Like some of these other, artists that are as big as she is are very calculated about, I don't know if I want to be associated with just women. I don't want to be pigeonholed. They overthink it kind of thing. Or their management team will come in and say, we're not trying to be just that women lane, we want to be for everyone or whatnot. She just goes with her heart. She says, this is awesome. I support this. I want to be part of this. So that was really incredible. And it is such an honor to, have her on the cap table and have her as part of the team. And she's done different, talent searches, like sign up for INPINK for your chance to shoot Melissa Etheridge's tour or photograph her. And she's been on our Instagram live stream. She's done meet and greets with the team. She's helped, do social media posts to help support it. So yeah, she's been an incredible partner and we're very grateful.
I love that. She's got a good heart and obviously mega talented and certainly a favorite of mine and such a trailblazer herself. So I'm sure she appreciates someone else being a trailblazer.
Right. Exactly.
So what was the impetus for you starting it? You're in the music industry and you're realizing that something is missing where, maybe like TV or movie or whatever, they're going, yeah, I would use a woman music writer, or I would use a woman musician. I don't know where to find them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People say it's a pipeline problem. Oh, I would hire a woman, but I don't know any. Do you know any? And I understand this struggle because I've had it myself. Like I realized early on I had to practice what I preach. So when my band went to make a music video, everyone has like a guy. Oh, I got a guy. They have their friend that does friends and family rate and whatever. But I realized, if I have to be part of the solution. And so it can be tricky. Luckily I have an amazing network, so I'm able to go through word of mouth and find people. But we really, want to expedite and automate that process and make it easier. And so honestly, really the genesis came from wanting to create a community, because beyond just getting gigs, the music industry is one of those careers where there's no roadmap that's like, here's, it's not like being a doctor, right? You go to the school, then you go to the residency, it's like there's no roadmap, and it could be a very lonely road. And, I know a lot of investors struggle with imposter syndrome. Like, of course, artists have that in spades. So it really started with wanting to create a community. And in January 2020, we started our series of all girl jams. There was this jam scene in LA, very male dominated. And it would be kind of like the top musicians. Like for us, we were able to get Eva Gardner, the bassist for Pink, Kiki Wong, who now plays with Smashing Pumpkins, like the top talent, and highlight them also because a lot of times they're in the background, right? But we were able to do our own all girl jam. We launched this 2020 with 3 magical months. Every month had a different theme. We did Grammys and Valentine's and Women's Month. Then, of course, COVID hit. So we had to pivot. We started doing live streams and Zoom workshops. And, I knew I wanted to build Gritty. I always had a big vision. I honestly, when I first like kind of dreamt it up, I went to Kevin Lyman, the founder of Warped Tour, who's my advisor and mentor, now my investor. And, I said, I have this big vision. I want to do a community and events and lifestyle products and partnerships and an online network. And the online network was like always part of my vision. And he was like, this is great. Pick one thing and start with that. Like you need to focus. And, so I picked events. LOL. We didn't know what was coming in 2020, that events would be shut down for 2 years, So then, when things were shut down, we kind of decided to go back to the idea of the online network. And we were doing workshops and getting great attendance. Of course, it was a different time, where people weren't able to go to shows and events, but
they did have time for workshops.
Right, exactly. And we realized at the end, and honestly, if you remember that time, there was a very unique camaraderie, at that time. Like, obviously it was such a difficult time in so many ways, but there was also this like camaraderie that I don't think I've ever seen before, where people were coming together to help each other, be there. And women were looking for, performance opportunities and connection opportunities. So we were brainstorming what to do about the platform. And we realized at the end of the day, what do women need to get hired and to get paid? And that we felt that would be the way to have the biggest impact. And marketplaces were really hot at the time. This was 2021. So I applied to the Long Beach Accelerator, and that was our first check-in at late 21. And we launched the platform in 22. So,
this is what I want to give you kudos about. People tend to either be left brain or right brain. They either tend to be super creative, like musicians and writers, and they're not business people. Okay. But in order to launch this business, you had to cultivate your business side, which I do believe you have both, and that's unusual. And it's not easy, obviously, building a business, but I think it's so great that you're building a business around something that really means so much to you, that you're so passionate about. And that, I think the greatest businesses are built out of someone's own need. So out of your own need to want to have more paid gigs and more, opportunities, that you saw that there was a need for that for all of the people in this genre that are just like you. And I think that's great. And I know it's not easy to make that transition from being, celebrated musician, loving what you're doing, and transitioning over here to business person, because you had that download and that vision, and you have to act on it. And so many people get that download and vision and don't act on it. So I always applaud people who do, because it's not easy. But if you look back, I hope you're smelling the roses along the way, because what you've done from where I saw you start to now, from Live Nation to Melissa Etheridge to now helping recreate this new, US tour with the famous um, entity like you're talking about, the famous
Vans Warped Tour. Yep.
there you go. The tour is really incredible. So I hope you see how incredible the progress has been because it takes so many years to build something up, but you are creating a community that women really do need that are in that music industry. And I think it's just incredible that you saw it, you're doing it, it's happening. And I know it's just going to continue to flourish and get bigger and better and more amazing. And it's the right time for everybody to, all women, to be coming together and pull ourselves forward, not because we should focus just on women, but because women have been the underdog in this arena. And that is a loss to the world. And so if we want women's music and we want the talent of women writers and producers and in all in that arena, because they tell different stories through their music and whatnot,
Right.
that it's important that they have that community that you're building. So bravo.
Thank you so much, Catherine. That means so much to me. I mean, I think you are in a unique position where you truly get it. You get the struggle and everything that, goes into creating a business and fundraising and the whole nine. So I really appreciate that. And it is a good reminder to stop and smell the roses sometimes. But, they say when you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life, right? So I do love what I do. And I'm grateful to have an incredible team along the way as well to
Yeah.
help because, yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned fundraising. It can be tough, but I think we always have to look at it as a fascinating journey. Like, look at the fascinating people you have met in your fundraising journey, right? That
That's
you
true.
would never have met if you weren't out there fundraising. You know, investors are some of the most brilliant, incredible people on the planet. And fundraising is all about connecting, and you are a champion at that. And so it might not always be easy, but you're a great example of how it's done, building those relationships, making those connections, and creating a platform like you've just done that'll be at New York Tech Week. Where they have an opportunity to meet investors and ask questions. And so I love this event. So I'm going to wrap this up to the fact that I will be seeing you
Yes.
fourth in New York City. We hope the listeners will join us there too. Come meet us in person. Whether you're an investor or you're a founder, this entity is for you. This event that is June 4th at Live Nation, which I'm so impressed that you were able to team up with them. And I think it's just an incredible accomplishment.
Thank you so much. And I have to shout out Stella Foundation and Show Love. They have been an amazing partner on these events. Not only have they been partnered on the last few investor roundtables, we also were able to have presence at their Women's Venture Summit. Gritty and Pink hosted the opening and closing parties. So yeah, shout out to Sylvia and Flossie and Riley and the whole team over there. And yeah, the event's going to be amazing. 2 p.m. Come out for Show Her the Money screening and panel. 4 p.m. we have investor roundtables, and around 5 it'll open up to the happy hour and open bar. So
yes, and we're going to put the link, of course, in this post so that people can grab a ticket. And yeah, thanks for putting this all together. Thanks for everything that you're doing. You are literally changing the face of the music industry for women. Keep going. You got this. You're amazing.
Thank you so much, Catherine. I appreciate you. Thank you for everything you do for women as well.
Thank you. And Shira, people can find you on, I take it, LinkedIn.
Yes, LinkedIn, yes. Shira Yevin, and Instagram, Shira_girl, and Twitter, Shira Girl, and of course, Gritty and Pink Life. So we have all those pages to check out.
Great. And also, they can sign up at INPINK.com if they want to be part of your music community.
Yes.
Everybody.
And anyone can sign up. I just want to say you don't have to be a woman, to support the platform. Anyone could hire a woman or non-binary professional. So you can go there now and sign up. It's totally free, and you get added to our email list.
Yeah, we love the male allies who want to hire women, and I think there's a lot of them out there.
Yes.
And of course, you can find me also on LinkedIn, Catherine Gray. I look forward to meeting you at the New York Tech Week, June 4th at Live Nation with Shira Yevin and Gritty and Pink. And you can, of course, visit our websites, sheangelinvestors.com, our movie, showherthemoney.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate your time. Hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, Shira. Thanks for a great interview.
Thanks, Catherine.